the feminists, destroying men's life with those false accusations. Yesterday I was listening to a video, and I almost think that thing's a freaking strategy for women now. And that thing really, like, I always say don't think with your emotion, but that thing pissed me off, and I'm not gonna get emotional on this one. I'm just gonna say just the fact that it's kind of a strategy for the woman. You know what women do, unfortunately? Imagine the whole thing. Imagine the whole situation. You've been with that woman for 20, 25 years. You're living in the same house. You build a family together. And for some reason, out of nowhere, she decides to go slip around. Okay, for whatever the reason. And as a man, you acknowledge that your behavior has changed and blah, blah, blah. And you start to do your own investigation and blah, blah, blah. You ask questions to her. And of course, woman's going to play her woman game. Try to make you feel guilty that you don't trust her and blah, blah, blah. This is what women do, guys. Female nature. Women don't take accountability for anything. They're going to play that victim thing. I am a victim here. And it's your fault that I'm not doing the right thing. So let's keep going. And one of the strategies that women use that I find that very, very crazy is when the guys go deeper and deeper to find out that she cheating on him. You know what they do? One of the strategies they use? They call the cop, make false accusation on the guy. And the cop came here. And the cop automatically, that's the law, they have to separate the couple. So they separate the couple. The guys get kicked out of his own house. Get kicked out of his own house. And he still have a mortgage. And most of the time, who pay the mortgage? The man pay the freaking mortgage. The man pay the mortgage, pay the utility, pay almost everything. So I want you to think about that. The man get kicked out of his own house. Now he's on the street. He's on the street. Now the woman, what she do? She put accusation, she put charge. Now they have to bring that to court. And bringing that to court and all that shit that could take, I don't know, a year or two. And during this time, the guys cannot see his children. And during all this time, the guy still need to pay the mortgage. And during this time, the guys, he need to put a roof over his head. You know what he end up to do? He end up in a shitty one-bedroom apartment with cockroaches. And during this time, they got a divorce. And during this time, you know what happened? You need to pay child support. And all that because the guy decided to build a family. And he ended up to pay child support, pay a mortgage that a woman still live inside of his house. And during this time, that woman fucked another guy inside of his own house. All that because the guy have decided to build a family. And all that because of a false accusation. And I hear that all the freaking time. That a woman came up with false accusation to get the guy kicked out of the house. And you know what? I said all kind of story to women and all that. And women are down there and they feel sorry, but they're not empathic. They don't put themselves in the shoes of the guy to say, man, this is freaking terrible. We need to do something about that. That doesn't make any freaking sense. They're just, poor guys. The women are not empathic to the situation or what most men live. They don't care. Women are so freaking selfish. And I'm not saying that, guy, that's a bad thing. I'm saying that because of female freaking nature. A woman uses a guy as a tool to survive. I want you to understand that. Because again, back in the day, a woman need a man to survive. And they have developed all kind of strategy to survive by using a man. And today's guys, and today is the same freaking bullshit again. The same thing. When you're in a relationship, that love thing is total bullshit. So we're going to go to a video. He said, women are not empathic to the situation of a man. They're not. They're just not. So let's listen to this here.
I think women lack empathy, and this conversation is kind of proving that throughout the thing.
And why do you think women lack empathy nowadays?
Okay. Well, during the course of this conversation, I've expressed to you guys the male situation with how we view women, what we want, etc. And instead of saying, you know what, that's right, that makes sense, I see your perspective, it's, well, it shouldn't be that way. I disagree. Yeah. I'm a woman, and I think men should want that. That is one of the biggest examples of a lack of empathy. I think women have sympathy, which means they can feel sorry for you and kind of see that perspective. But empathy is the ability to put yourself in the shoes of the individual that's talking about a situation. And what I've realized through this conversation, which a lot of women, is they lack empathy. They're not able to put themselves in a male perspective and understand the male experience because women live a very different life than men do.
I understand.
Which is fine. I'm not knocking that. But here's the difference between men and women. Men have to have empathy to understand women to be attractive, because if I'm going to take a girl on a date and get laid, I know that I got to smell good, have my shit together, carry a conversation, take her somewhere fairly nice, have my apartment nice and clean when we come back. I need to make her feel comfortable. I need to make her feel safe. So I have to understand women to get them. But women, on the other hand, just show up. They don't have to understand men. Yep. I think.
So that's kind of an example that women don't have empathy for men. They don't care about the situation of a man. A woman's going to see a man and in their head, if I spend time with that man, what am I going to get in return? Guys, I want you to understand that. There's no love in there. There's no freaking love in there. A woman use a guy to get something from a guy. Security or financial resources. That's the main two things that they look in a man. And women, by nature, guys, they are nasty. Nasty. And women don't use physical violence. If they're pissed off at you, you know what they're going to do? They're going to put false accusation on you. They do that kind of bullshit. If they're pissed off at you at work, what are they going to do? They're going to throw a Me Too at you. This is what women do. And that thing needs to be spread out all over the world. No, not over the world. North America. That most guys need to understand female nature. And most women do that kind of shit. They're not going to go physical. They're going to throw a Me Too at you. They're going to call up you to false accusation. They're going to do all kind of freaking nasty things. They don't use physical violence, boys. They use the tool that they have. False accusation. It's a big one. It's a big one. And the best story in the world is Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. What else do we have? We have so much example. Look, Trump. I make a video about Trump, that trial that he lost with that crazy nutcase. I make a video. I'm going to put the link right there about Trump. That thing was total bullshit. He lost. You're going to bring that in appeal. But that thing was so freaking bullshit. The whole thing doesn't make sense. It's a civil case, and I explain the whole thing. What is the difference between a criminal case and a civil case? But guys, you need to understand female nature. You want to get laid. You want to put that thing inside of a hole. Man, a woman want to have something from you. That's what she wants. What she's going to get in exchange. There's no love in there, boys. There's no freaking love in there. And what women have done, the feminists, destroying men's life with those false accusations, with that Me Too thing. And you know what is crazy also is, all those false accusations, there's no consequence for women. There's no freaking consequence. They're not going to end up in jail. They're going to be down there with a big smile. I get away for him. I get away from doing this. have zero consequence. I'm not going to them jail. And that guy lived a freaking nightmare for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And another thing, if you have young children and you don't see your kid for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and the woman have brainwashed your kid, your dad is a bad person, and blah, blah, blah. This is what women do, guys. This is what women do. And that thing need to be talked about. That women have some freaking empathy, to become empathic towards a man cause. Because the feminists have go way too far. When you say that today that a woman could destroy a man just like that, if you know the recipe, you know what to do, they could destroy your life just like that. It's so easy from them to them to do that. And that thing need to be freaking talked about. And when we talk about this, you know what it's crazy? We get canceled. We get freaking canceled to say the freaking truth. And that thing needs to change. That thing needs to freaking change. What I'm saying right now is just the truth. And we need to, those false accusations that women do, they need to have consequence. You need to have consequence. A woman made a false accusation, and look, again, Johnny Depp, what is the consequence of that one, what she did to him? Zero. She didn't have any consequences. She should spend 2, 3, 4, 5 years in jail because of what she did to that man. As soon as you find out this false accusation, that it's not true, the law needs to change. Those women need to spend 4 or 5 years in jail. And of course, the feminists going to listen to what I said. Oh my God, that's not fair. You're not supposed to do that. Women should get false accusation to men. Women should be able to destroy men's life without any consequences. Look, all the politicians, they need to wake up. The whole thing need to be fair for both the man and the woman. The whole thing need to be fair. And right now, it's not freaking fair. The men are getting the freaking chew up. Her ass are getting chewed up with that kind of bullshit. And I hear those stories all the time. You know when you hear the story once, okay, don't make a big deal. Man, when you hear those kind of stories like 100 times that happen to men, I mean, there's a problem out there. There's a problem out there. And this is the consequence of the freaking feminists. The freaking feminists that go way too far. And the politician out there, you need to wake up. Help the man cause. That no forced divorce need to get the hell out of there. You could do a divorce whenever you want. And those women, they know all the dirty trick to get money and give a hard time to that guy. So look, another video about women at the end and the feminists. All fair. It's not good for us, for the men. And boys in North America, United States, Canada, women are not empathic at all because they have been brainwashed by the freaking feminists. The freaking feminists have destroyed men's life, and they still do that today. And that thing needs to freaking change. And I made those videos, boys, that you understand female nature. Female freaking nature. This is what they do. They don't use physical violence. They do that kind of dirty truth I just explained. Okay, I've been yapping for more than 13 minutes. So guys, you like my content, like, share, subscribe. And boys, study female nature. Don't get screwed up by a woman. Very important. Very important for your future. Okay, boys, I leave it at that. Thanks for watching.